The Madman! Welcome to more Saviors of Uldum cards. I'd say this time we got some really good ones. Let's start with Expired Merchant, Warlock, 2 mana, 2/1, Battlecry, discard your highest cost card, Death Rattle, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Very hyped card. Get another copy, essentially, of your good card at the end. In Wild, I can definitely see its insanity, where you can, in fact, get 2 copies of Blood Reaver Gul'dan. I don't usually talk about Wild, but, I mean, that section of Wild is wild. Let's talk about this in Standard, though. I feel like this might be getting the severely overrated treatment. At the base level, this is sideways Loot Hoarder. This card has some pros and cons compared to Loot Hoarder. Pro, you're always getting a high cost card, and generally when you're looking to draw cards, you're hoping to get the higher cost cards. You could get a card that you normally couldn't get 2 of. For example, Leroy Jenkins. 12 burst damage is pretty sweet, potentially in a zoo. There's some discard synergy, which doesn't really matter right now. Now the cons. Compared to Loot Hoarder, you are immediately losing a card. Also, in the case that you're top decking, you really don't want Expired Merchant. You actually need to discard a card with Expired Merchant. If this gets silenced, you're really sad. That said, you can get around that by killing your own minion, but that's not really good. Handlock traditionally really likes playing Mountain Giants. Mountain Giant tends to be the highest cost card in your hand. So I could see some Expired Merchant discard Mountain Giant shenanigans as well. Have Giants to play on turn 4 and turn 5, that's pretty sweet. All that being said, however, I do think that right now in this meta, there isn't anything that you really want to discard and get 2 copies of. So really, this is a glorified Loot Hoarder. For now. And I think that right now the card in Standard is severely overrated. We're gonna have to see if Warlock comes up with some amazing high cost card that you really want to run 3 copies of, or 2 in the case of Legendary. We've got the Paladin quest, Making Mummies. And we have an excellent meme to go with this. Paladins then.
Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. This entire city must be purged.
Paladins now. Let's perform necromancy, lol. Making Mummies. Quest, play 5 reborn minions, reward Emperor Raps. Emperor Raps is a 2 mana ability that summons a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. So that's a really good hero power. Most of the upgraded hero powers, when you just upgrade them, are worth about 1 mana, but summon a 2/2 copy of a friendly minion. This arguably is actually worth 2 mana, which is really valuable, especially since your quest is to play 5 reborn minions, and the quest reward is really good with reborn minions. Play a reborn minion, play Emperor Raps on the reborn minion, get a 2/2 copy of your reborn. Now, what if you're cooking with Death Rattle? That's pretty sweet. The Dream, Mechanical Whelp, Emperor Raps Mechanical Whelp. You basically paid 2 mana for another Mechanical Whelp, which should cost 6. This quest is obviously going to depend entirely on how good reborn minions are, and currently we literally only know of 1 reborn card that can be run in Paladin, but I have high expectations for this card. Speaking of which, let's talk about the reborn card. Mermy. 1 mana, 1/1 Murloc with reborn. Yeah, it's pretty much Mecharoo, but it's really different. It's a Murloc. That's a really big deal for Murloc decks. This is a easy shoe-in into Murloc Shaman, and this could adjust how often Toxfin is played. I could see the world where Zoo decides to pick up Mermy instead of Mecharoo, maybe runs the Hog Rider, and then plays the Toxfin in order to get surprise removal with Mermy sometimes. Really high potential value. Hidden Oasis. 6 mana Druid spell, choose 1. Summon a 6/6 Ancient with Taunt, or restore 12 health. I looked at this card and I thought it sucked. Both sides of the choose 1 are bad. But clearly this card is meant to be played with untapped potential. And if you play this on curve with untapped potential, then you can play Hidden Oasis for a 6/6 with Taunt and restores 12 health. That actually seems really good. Compare that with Shield Bearer. +1/+1, plus Taunt, +7 more health. And if you play it with Steladris, you get the potential for another 6/6 Ancient with Taunt. I'm an optimist, And I actually think, I know you'll laugh, but I think that the balance team on Hearthstone is quite good. So for them to print such a underwhelming card, I think this could be a hidden gem. Haha! And also a hint that untapped potential may have more potential than we think. Okay, now the really good stuff. We have Hunter, Wild Bloodstinger, 6 mana, 6/9 beast, Battlecry, summon a minion from your opponent's hand and attack it. Holy cow! Welcome back, Dirty Rat. If you wanted a combo disruptor, Hunter can now do it. That is a huge minion. I don't know if you're gonna play one copy of it or 2 copies of it, but Midrange Hunter loves this card. Imagine how sad your opponent will be if you play your 6/9 Wild Bloodstinger and you pull out the Reno Relicologist and you just kill the Reno and you have a 6/5 left over. 6 mana, 6/5, your opponent discards a card. Like, that's going to be what the card says a lot of the time. Even if you don't kill a combo piece, supposing the average minion you pull is 4 attack, it's a 6 mana, 6/5 that makes your opponent discard a card. That's quite disruptive. And if they don't discard a card, you have a 6 mana, 6/9. Because the 6 attack is so big, unlike Dirty Rat, you can just play this on curve all the time. I think this card is really, really good. Speaking of really, really good, Scarlet Webweaver, 6 mana, 5/5 beast for Hunter. Boy, the Hunter 6 slot is chock full of goodness. Battlecry, reduce the cost of a random beast in your hand by 5. It's a lot like Dream Petal Florist, except it comes out 1 turn faster, and it's got decent stats for the turn it comes out, unlike the Florist. And you could nearly compare this to a 1 mana 5/5, because often when you're reducing a beast by 5, you can play that beast immediately. Oftentimes you'll probably end up losing a little bit of the reduction. Of course, Tundra Rhino would be fantastic to be able to reduce. 0 mana, play a 2/5 with charge, and then play all the other beasts out there. They also have charge. Given that these 2 cards are beasts, you can fetch them with your 3 mana draw 3 of Master's Call. So I think Midrange Hunter just got a huge boost with these 2 cards. So those are some pretty exciting cards. Looking forward to seeing more of Saviors of Uldum.
Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tomb, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to